Hello everybody, it's Connie and I am just getting my stuff set up so I can see comments, so give me a sec. It always takes me a moment when I first log in because I've started using my computer now. Okay, sorry. And today, it's all about snow. Snow, snow, snow. Thanks for watching. I so appreciate it. If you're like me, you're probably fast forwarding through the whole thing if you're not watching live. Anyway, I wanted to show you that my stash is full of snow stuff. I have so much. I have stencils from Simon Hurley. I have back plates, impression plates from like Honeybee and Pink Fresh, all to new. I have close to my heart embossing folders that have stencils. I have past Stampin' Up sets. This one was really great because look at those borders. And if you look at this. Tim Holtz, funky. I got these secondhand. They're, I'm sure, a knockoff of something, but somebody bought them off of the internet. Close to my heart, Lawn Fawn. I have Club Scrap. I have Pink Fresh. I have so much snow. It's crazy. And I went through to purge, and I couldn't part with any of it because it's all so unique and so different, and I love it. And so today I'm like, okay, of course I had to buy the Snowy Delights set, which is as a bundle of stamps and dies. These are the stamps, and these are the dies. You get a couple of borders, a couple of giant snowflakes that fit in the borders, and then you get this really cool little cutout piece so that you can make this like, you know, in your cardstock with color showing through the back, or you can just use the individual pieces. And finally, it has this little tiny message piece that works with a warm hello or joy to the world. It doesn't work with these larger ones, but now you can kind of see why I need them all, because they're all very different. They're all snowflakes, but just like snowflakes, they're all very different. Anyway, so I had to get them all, and I wanted to show you that today. Today, we are also going to be using the Snowflake stencils, which I have no idea where I put them on my desk, so give me a moment. And then I also pulled this one to show you, Falling Snow, because it's a cling stamp, but it's an amazing background. And I'm not going to use it today, I don't think, but it is absolutely gorgeous, and I've used it before, and you know, beautiful. Okay, so other products that are kind of snowy themed. This is a it shows up as nothing in the catalog, okay? It doesn't look like anything. It just tells you what it is, and the pictures suck. So this is impressed cardstock, white cardstock, and it's got little snowflakes all over it. And I seriously thought about using a little circle punch and just punching out a whole bunch of these to make a card. You can I don't know, put ink over them, highlight them. I've been saving them a little bit for a scrapbook page, which I haven't done yet. So let me just put that away for now. Okay. So the other snowflake that I've been using a lot, and this one's sold out, I'm sorry, right now, is Festive Friends. This is the so adorable thing, but I really like this snowflake in here. It's nice that the Snowy bundle, Snowy Delights bundle has a clump of snowflakes, but sometimes you just need one here or there. And rather than do surgery on my clump, I sometimes just grab this one. And this one is very more like bold in your face. It's got like the lines on it are a bit wider. It's not so fine. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm going to set this aside too. But I'm going to put this one on a block in case I need it while we're playing. The other thing that I've really got to find my stencils. Just a moment. So the Snowy Delights has a batch of stencils. These are, all the Snowy Delights stuff is on last chance, and that means it's discounted. So these are dirty. Wow, I need to clean. That's probably why I had them set aside. Let me just show you real quick how to clean your stamp or your stencils. I use isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%. I just get it at the store. It's already in a spray bottle. If you have breathing problems, don't do it. It's not worth it if you have alcohol in the air and you have asthma or something like that, you know. But look how perfectly these wipe clean. Alcohol dries super fast. It works amazing. You cannot use alcohol like this on your stamps. Only this plastic or your glass mat, okay? You can't use it like on everything. It'll dry things out terrifically, but it's perfect for stencils. Okay, and what's nice is these are dry. These are dry. Okay, so I just have an old rag here that I use all the time. Okay, so there's 4 levels. There's a wide, and then a skinny one with arms, and then there's 2 accent stencils. These are only $9.60. Oh my gosh, what a deal. And if you only buy this and nothing else, you've got a lot of fun playtime to do. And if I would definitely buy the dies with this. I think you'll regret not having both. The stamps, in my opinion, are a meh. They're not necessary. If you have any other stamps in your stash, you don't necessarily need this. And the other thing to remember that is whenever you're shopping on last chance, buy things individually. Don't do a bundle, because they don't reduce the bundles. They reduce each individual product, and that together will often add up to less than if you're buying a bundle. I hope that makes sense, because it'll save you money. Okay, so today there's several things I want to do. The obvious thing is to just stencil the colors, and I'm going to do that. I've got like a stack of panels because I don't have like particular things in mind, but I always like to have some cardstock, some specialty papers. I get these from the Paper Cut or Anna Griffin. Sometimes Stampin' Up has them, and sometimes I just have my pattern paper left over from other projects. I have a couple pieces of that embossed snow. I also have, I need to replenish my embossed panel stash, but I like to get out my embossing folders once in a while and just emboss like crazy. And that way I have pieces and panels for cards when I just need to grab something, because you can see where this would be a great background for snow. So, That's fun, right? But the other thing today is that I don't necessarily want to show you all the obvious stuff because, well, like everybody knows the obvious stuff, don't we? I mean, so the first thing I want to do is just stencil using beautiful colors, right? Obvious colors. And to me, the obvious colors are like blues or soft greens, soft pinks, soft colors. And so I pulled, this is, I think I have Misty Moonlight. Hold on a minute. Misty Moonlight, Secret Sea. I'm looking for it. I have a stamp spot. Misty Moonlight, Secret Sea. I have, I also have like Cloud Cover, which is a great mix with that. And then I have some Lisa Horton metallics. Now, metallic inks, you can get them from almost everybody has a metallic pigment ink. The problem with them is they don't dry fast. They're made for like embossing. So when you're going to use something like that, use it last, okay? So the first thing is I'm going to get a grip mat of some kind so my ink pads don't run around. We want to go soft color to dark color on these stencils because these layer on top of each other. They're very similar to those, you know, layering masks are where the color gets layered on top, one on top of the other. And so if you start with something super dark on your biggest stencil, it'll get covered up. So we're going to start with Cloud Cover. Now I have a full-size Cloud Cover because I love the color, but it is, hold on, I gotta get my blender. I gotta get my blender. The issue with Cloud Cover was it reacted with the foam. And so the color wasn't true consistently on all the ink pads. So what they recommend is that you buy like one of these cubes that are empty, and then you buy the refill and use it. And I love the color. It's very beautiful. So I'm putting my stencils in order. You can tell they're numbered at the top, which is hard to see in this light, but there's a number there and there is a notch. And if you really want it, if you have stencils that are hard to line up, you want to use that notch. Now, I'm just gonna like hold things today. That's really dangerous for me. I probably should put a little tiny bit of glue or tape down. Hold on a minute. I'm getting out some tape. I have a grip mat that works fabulously, but just in case you don't have a grip mat, I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to put a little piece of tape down to hold that. Is that high enough on my camera to see? I'll move it up a little bit. All right. And then I'm just going to center this snowflake. Maybe I'll do a couple. I'm going to do one here in the corner. I'm going to angle it and we'll do a couple. All right. So I'm going to tap onto my stencil just to get the bulk of the color off so I don't get a splotch. Although with snowflakes, to be honest, it's kind of good to have some blotchy, and it's okay, you know? It's okay if one arm is lighter than the other arm. I really love this Cloud Cover color. Look how soft and beautiful it is. And then I'm going to do another one down here. That'll allow me to put a message in here. When I stencil, I usually use a grip mat of some sort or tape so that they don't slide around. And today I have so much to show you. I don't want to get slowed down by tape, so I may have some mishaps. I'm just warning you now. I may have some mishaps. May not be all you want it to be. Okay, there's cloud cover, first level done. And then as I go, I'm just gonna clean my stencil. I'm gonna put a little bit of alcohol on my rag and clean that because I'm gonna be reusing these a couple of times today. And you wanna clean them front and back. All right, there's level 1. Okay, let's go to the next part. And what I'm gonna line up is I'm gonna line up the arms. Those are like obvious. And then you see these little circles here, here, here. There's like 6 little circles. You can just line those right up. You don't need the little arrow notch to line those up. And the next color is going to be Misty Moonlight. Now I have a little cube holder here that I'm gonna be using. Oh, look, I haven't even opened that. See, I thought I had Misty Moonlight in a large pad. This is like one of my favorite colors. And so there we go. I like that Misty Moonlight is a soft color, but it's a little darker than cloud cover. It's like the next level. And if you are using close to my heart colors, Bluebell is that. And do you see how now it's you can see the next level detail. You can still see the cloud cover through it. When you're doing stencils, it's a good idea to go in circular motion and go both directions. That's just, that way you catch all the little edges. You know what I mean? Okay. Ta-da, that's beautiful. And again, let me just wipe off my stencil here. Level 2 done. Okay, so for level 3, I think this is the level that I want my silver to be so that it will really show. So I'm gonna skip that and do silver last. And I'm gonna go to level 4. Now this is the hardest one to line up, but even that's not bad. There's a center circle right there that you can line up. And then each of these dashes go on an arm. So if you line up your center circle and then move your dashes around so that there's one on every arm, you're pretty well there. And the other place that you can check is you can see right there, there's a dot inside of each of those pieces. I'm going to use Secret Sea, which is very dark and it's a very bold color. So I'm gonna tap it off a little, see how it's really, it's like these build on each other. Don't scooch, Connie, don't scooch. Okay. And the layers just look so amazing. Because they're like similar color families. Oh gosh, just that alone, so pretty. Okay, on down here again, I'm turning my stencil so that each arm has little lines. I'm moving it so that each of the little globe shapes have a dot. And the center is it actually in the center. All right. Ta-da. All right. So these are like the obvious ways to use these snowflakes, right? And I'm just gonna lift this a little, clean that off. Clean that off. There, look at that. And then, again, I'm just gonna clean as I go because I'm gonna use these again. Oh, who's watching today? Hi, everybody. Hi, Marcia. Hello, hello. I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for watching. Facebook did something really funky again today. I don't understand exactly why, but when I went to log into my site, it was like weird. Okay. Hold on, let me grab a dauber. Okay, whenever I use pigment inks, like white, like metallics, like I try to use the sponges instead of the spongy colors work better than a brush. Okay, and so when we line this one up, you can see in the center is going to be lined up like that, and you're going to turn it so that there is dots on each arm. You can kind of see that gets lined up. And I just have to find the center. And you just turn it until everything looks perfect. This one, honestly, this stencil is one of the easier layering stencils that I have to line up because everything really does build on each other and they're not just these random like things floating around. Sometimes when I get stencils from other companies, I have trouble. I haven't had any trouble with any of the Stampin' Up stencils. All right, so I have one layer down and it's going to be beautiful, but I'm going to go ahead and do one more, just a pounce over the openings. And what that'll do is it'll give me a little bit bolder color, especially since I'm going on top of ink, okay? Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. All right, and then here I go again. Get into the center. Line everything up. You shouldn't have those white splotches showing all over around the images. I hope you can see that. Now I could have done this with the 4th stencil instead of the 3rd stencil. I could have just left this on. You know, the cool thing about layers is that you can just use one layer. That's just, you know, unique and different. You don't have to use all 4 all the time. And you'll get a different look, which is really nice. And today, a lot of what I'm doing is I'm not necessarily finishing all the cards. I'm just creating and having fun, right? All right, so look at that. I'm going to show that in different lights so you can see the metallic. It's gorgeous. And I think that my light's not great, but you can really see the colors shine through. Like you can see that cloud cover. You can see how beautiful that is. And one of the things that I really, really like is that now I can do anything with this panel. I could use my dies. I could cut this out and then layer it onto cards. I could use my little cool snowflake images and add to the scene. And you can pick whichever color, you know, that you like the most. I really like, I think the Misty Moonlight really stands out in here. And, you know, add some snow. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And I could add, I'm gonna put these on blocks so that I'm not grabbing for them all the time. Here's my other snow. I think that would look really nice in cloud cover. That's a gorgeous panel. Now, to make it really cool, what if you put it, now you could ink it around the edges and put it onto panels. You could use your borders, you know, use your fun borders that you have. You have different shapes, rectangles, hexagons, you have arches, ovals, whatever. You can cut this into a shape and then layer it onto coordinating cardstock. It'll be gorgeous. So there's a panel. I'm going to set that aside just for a moment. We're going to do our next thing. I have like a little pile of things that I want to show you. Oh, and this one. Okay. This is something I wanted to play with. And so I got some black cardstock out and I just started stenciling a couple of things on here. So this is the widest stencil and it is done in white pigment ink. Now, I use white pigment ink so often that I have like one of the little pouncers with a sponge on it just for white. And you don't want to mix a pouncer, a sponge dauber, or anything with a dye and a pigment together. If you're going to use this on a pigment ink, use it on a pigment ink. Oh gosh, look at this. I got this out. This has nothing to do with what I'm showing you, but look. Oh my goodness. Okay, the possibilities. Okay, I'm going to put that away because I'm getting squirreled. Right? Squirrel. Okay. Anyway, so yesterday I pounced on this white ink and I heat set it with my heat tool. You don't have to, but I just want to see if I can put a bold color on black. Now this other one here is an interesting thing that I wanted to play with. This is a newer Lisa Horton ink that I got that is an interference ink and it changes from green to red. I don't know whether I can show you that or not. Hold on a minute. Okay. I'm gonna move it. You can see on camera right now, it looks green to me, but if I turn it different ways like that, I think you can see that it's red. It turns like red. Can you see that? And in different lights, it turns green and red. I don't know. It's just different. I was playing with it and I couldn't decide if I wanted to use it as a layer or not. And anyway, that's what that is. This is different. This is just this is just a a stencil. I wanted to mess with the stencils, and I wanted to see if I could get this hot pink. This is Rosy, which this is Melon Mambo cardstock, and this is my Rosy close to my heart ink. I just didn't buy Melon Mambo yet, but you can see it's a close substitute, right? So I'm going to grab that, grab my ink, or grab my pink brush, and let's do a couple of layers. Let's see what we want to do on here. I obviously did this layer in white, so I don't need that layer done. That's layer 1. I could do layer 2, but I think layer 3 might be it for me. Maybe I might do 3 and 4. Let's just see. Okay, so here I go, trying to line this up again. Put it over so that you can see no black color around the white images. Now, because I put white under here, I'm hoping the color will look more true. So I'm going to start in the center. I want this bold. Oh yeah, I think this is going to work. And wow, this is kind of cool looking. We'll see what it looks like on black, whether it really shows or not. Sometimes when you're trying to put color on black, it's like it turns into mud, or you can't see it at all. And so I just thought, I'm going to use the boldest color I've got. And this is definitely one of them. And I'm just going to go over and make sure that I have it in all the little spaces. All right, moment of truth, y'all. Here we go. Oh, that's kind of neat looking. Look at that. That's really kind of cool. All right, I'm going to clean my stencil because I need to, so that I can use it easily. And honestly, if you use alcohol to clean your stencils, I don't usually have too much staining, but I used to throw these into like the sink and just scrub them with the Dawn dishwashing detergent, you know, and sometimes I would still get a little staining. As long as they're clean, they won't transfer. Do I want to do this last color? That's the big question. Should I do it in, like, should I try a green or something? I need something bright. Let me think. What have I got that's bright? Wow. I have the avocado that's bright. I don't really want that color though. I have Close to My Heart Lagoon is pretty bright. I'm gonna try it. Let me put this one away. I have so much stuff on my desk. I apologize for you having to wait for me to get my act together, but I gotta tell you, I have a lot of stuff on this desk. I should zoom out, and it's really hard to see where these go with the black paper. It's harder than white, but I'm lining up the dots with each arm, and they look pretty even. It's hard to see on camera because I can see through the stencil, where you guys are probably like, what? And I'm using the back of the stencil. It's I don't think it matters, but here I am. I have a feeling this will not show up. I feel like this won't be bold enough. We'll see. All right, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay. Ba-bum. Oh, it does show some. That's really neat looking. All right. Again, gotta clean. When I clean stencils, I clean the front, flip it over, clean my surface, clean the back. And that way I'm not transferring ink all over the place. I don't know what I got on there, but all right. Now, what I need to do, I want to cut this out. And I have a couple options. So I have this larger size like that just cuts out the big general shape. And then I have this one that will cut it out a little tighter. I'm not really sure which one I like more. I haven't used this one much though. I think this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm just gonna do a rough cut because I want this to fit into my die cut machine. I have a Anna Griffin machine, which it has magnetic mats, which you can see these are like just snapping to, which really is nice because then I don't have to tape everything all the time. And I just put it in the sandwich. I'm gonna run this through so you can hear the loudness in the background of it running. Now the black that I used is insanely heavy cardstock. It's something Steve brought me. I was afraid it may not even cut through, but it did. Look at that. All right. Ta-da. I should keep a little piece of black. I'll keep a little piece of black because I may use it for a message. Not now, but later. Now I pre-cut this panel the other day when I was making those tree cards. I went ahead and used up some of my stripes, and I thought this black snowflake might look cool on it. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm on the fence because it's so big. It covers up my stripes. But that's my plan with this one. And then I used my paper punches, and I thought it would be cool to do like some colored centers and colored snowflakes around the edges and pink and teal. I don't know. I got to think about this. I may have to cut this one a little tighter so that more of my do you care if I do that now? Is that a terrible thing for me to do? I could be on here all day doing this. Snowflake stuff. Snowflakes are... See, I'm going to cut that just a little tighter. So while I'm on here messing around and you're watching me play... Oh yeah, that's better. Look at that. What a difference. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of fun too. I'm going to hang on to that. You guys might have seen my post about Margie's New Year's Eve crop. It's a virtual crop online. I like how I didn't die cut it perfectly because I was in a hurry and it offset a little. Actually, I kind of like that. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. So, all right. I think this will be perfect. And then I can snowflake around it. There's a card. I will finish off camera. I just wanted to show you, see if that technique would even work. Okay. Anyway, the New Year's Eve crop is one that every year I do with Margie. She's been doing it now for what, like 5 years or something, pretty much since COVID. And there's a whole bunch of demonstrators from different companies who get together on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And we all take a couple of hours and just show things, make scrapbook pages and stuff. And I've done scrapbook pages several years, but I think last year I may have made cards. I can't remember. I usually make Christmas layouts. Everybody does something a little different, and that's what makes it kind of fun. You can get out your stuff and crop along. Okay, so I pre-stenciled this one, and the colors that I used were like a pretty in pink style pink, a poppy red. This is Close to My Heart Candy Apple, which is very close to poppy red. Stampin' Up Real Red. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then that rosy color, Melon Mambo. I actually did make a Melon Mambo cube. Where it is on my desk, anybody's guess. But that is the colors that I used. It made it wild, right? And then I took a red panel and I cut that border out. And my thought is to put this on the inside, and you could put it on the inside where it opens. You could just put like vellum or a window sheet on here and keep this on the back. But I kind of like the idea of putting it on here. So this is a little trickier. I used the largest die possible on this, and then I used the smaller die on this. So these nest, yeah, flipping everywhere. These nest like this. So think of that. You could make that into a cool border. Well, we just did with our black, right? You can make a border around your snowflakes. Think how cool. Wow, that's really fun. Think about the colors. If you used vellum or white or gold, hot red, just think how neat that would look on like a scrapbook page or something. Hi, Margie. Anyway, so that's, I cut the bigger one here so that I would have an edge to glue with. And then I cut the smaller one here so that I would have an edge to glue with. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open my card and I'm gonna use my liquid glue. And my plan is to just put a real thin layer around here. I know, it's tedious watching something glue. Anyway, Margie, I was just talking about your New Year's Eve crop. And I'm still trying to decide exactly what I'm gonna do. But I like the idea of not selling something. After I spent so much money. Oh, glitter, good idea. Ooh, good idea. All right. I spent so much money on Black Friday. I can't believe how much money I spent. It's embarrassing. And I feel like it's so nice just to get together and use your stash and create with what you have. You know, I just think that's a really neat idea. And so I think I'm going to do a stash buster of some kind. I'll try to let you know what my plans are ahead of time so you can pull things out of your stash to use. Whether it's something like this where we just take one stamp set and do a lot of different techniques, or make scrapbook pages out of 6x6, you know, whatever, your choices. Okay, so that's the inside. There's the outside. I love how that looks. Now, I could have just glued a snowflake onto the front. But I wanted to show you that you could make a window and you can do whatever you want with that window. And yeah, I love the idea of glitter or shimmer on here. The black is too much, I think. Yeah, black is like, whoa. But let's see what I got here. I do have this. That's cool. I think a white border on it would pop. I think white glitter would be like incredible. Oh, white glitter. Okay, let me grab it. All right. I have gobs. I know I have a scrap that's small enough. Right there. And I just keep adding to my pile of stuff, right? Now, I want the two pieces together, right? I want to cut them both together. Now, so what I want to do is I can just use my magnetic mat to do this. But if you don't have a magnetic mat, that you want to lay it down as close as you can, get it even, and then put some tape on there so that you're going to be cutting with an even edge all around, right? So I'm going to put this on. The magnet helps and hurts at the same time. When you're trying to show tape, it's like, no, you don't want tape. But it's pretty close. It'll work. All right. I'm going to run that through. More noise, more noise. So I really need to know from you guys what you would like to see. Now, the interesting thing is my time slot is really close to midnight on New Year's Eve. So, I don't know. I used to be a major night owl. I don't know that I am anymore, but I don't know. I don't want anything too intricate. You'll be getting Sleepy Connie showing you stuff. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. And then I have this snowflake that I can use. All right, I'm going to set that in my pile. And then I have this, and I think, you know, one thing I could do is I could, like, just white emboss with glitter, just punches, snowflake punches. I could stamp and emboss the groups of snowflakes around this. There's so many options. Like, how do you decide, right? All right, come on, get in there. There we go. Hold that down for just a second. This makes really cool little snowflakes that will pop out. And what I like about it is you can use it either way. I'll use my smaller one to cut this. Yes, I have two machines, and they both take the same amount of time when I'm on camera, but for some reason the smaller one just feels like it's faster. It's not. I know it's not. Okay, So I'm just going to use a poker, try to pop out all these little pieces. And you can kind of see, you get, this is a really cool effect that you could put on cards, and you can see how if you put it on like red cardstock, you know, the red shows through. It looks really neat. That's not how I'm using it right at this moment, but so yeah, I need to know what people want to see on New Year's. We're always looking for something fun. Now, there's also all these little teeny tiny dots. Yeah, sparkling gems. Good idea. Good call. These little dots make me happy, and I like to pick them up and put them on. They're glittery and they're small, and they add just a little something, just like a gem. Now this needs gems all over the snowflake, don't you think? I think that would be amazing. Let me just put a couple of these on. My glue is Barely Arts glue, and it dries clear. I don't worry about gushing glue around. So if you have glue that does not dry clear, you need to change, because it's too hard to use the perfect amount of glue all the time without making a mess. All right. Yeah, that is gorgeous. I have gems that like a lot of gems. I will finish this off camera another time and show you. Oh yeah, Wink of Stella, that'll be good. It'll jazz it up. The other thing I think that would really add to this is using red ink around the edges of the card, like making the panel more dimensional. I can't really do that now that I've put white glitter on there, because it'll pick up that color. But that would have been a really cool effect too. Okay, I'm adding that to my pile, and I'm moving on to the next thing. I want to show you this card that I did. It is a gatefold, and the way that I made it is I took my silver foil paper, and I realized I could have just cut a white snowflake out and glued it to the top. But what I did instead, because I'm gotta make things difficult, I cut this out of silver and it left a hollow, and I wanted to use the hollow. So it left that impression, and so I cut this out of white and inlaid it into my hollow spot. And then the silver I inlaid into the white openings. And then I just put fun gems all over it. These are kind of iridescent. They're not available anymore. They're from Crafty Meraki, and they went out of business. But this is like one of their gems sets that have like a lot of different colors in it. And I just thought, wow, that's pretty. And then this is the back side of that beautiful paper. It has red, green, and peacock, I think, and white with gold foil on one side, and then the back side is this. I didn't leave a sheet out to show you which set that is. It's this set of paper. I think it's called Marbled Elegance. And I have been seriously hoarding the white color because it's my favorite, and today I was like, I gotta use it. And so that's the paper I used. I just used the back side of it. It doesn't look like it, but it is, and it's gorgeous and pretty. All right. This might actually be the back side of this blue. I think it is. Actually, I think this is not that marbled elegance. I used that on a different one. This one is the back of one of these papers from this set. Gosh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Wah. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to do, and then I want to show you my cool pop-up from the other day. Remember when I did the video of the pop-up cards and I glued all those crazy snowflakes together? Now this is I'm not giving this to anybody because I screwed it up in several places. This is like a learn from Connie and don't do as I do. But when I glued my snowflakes together, I didn't glue the tops. I just left them like pom-poms, and it does matter. So I'm like, okay, if I had to do that again, I would be careful and glue those together. But I did put Swarovski crystals all over this, and there's no possible way to capture the gorgeousness that are these snowflakes. It's just not even possible. But there's that paper that I used, and it's so pretty. And what's really nice is the whole card will lay flat-ish. Look how thick that is. It would not go in a regular mailer, but it's not going to. It's going to sit in my craft room. I absolutely love it. And I'm just going to display that one because I made it for me, by golly. All right. Now, I also want to I'm going to do another panel. I don't know. I just got out a bunch of panels, and you know, sometimes you just need to stencil. You just need to do it in different colors. I'm going to do one more panel, and what color? I think I'm going to use purples, which is weird for me. I never use purple. So I have Berry Burst. I have Petunia Pop. I have Fresh Freesia. And I need a softer color. And the obvious color here would be like Bubble Bath, which is like the lighter. It's like a super light pink that I do not have. Okay. And it's got like a little bit of a purple tone to it, which is the reason I don't own it. I don't love purple so much. The other option would be to go with a darker purple, like use these three colors, use this as the lightest, and then choose something on this end darker. I could do that. But I think I may only just use 3 layers. Let's do that. Let's try that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Fresh Freesia as my base. I could use my magic color, which is the magic color, as you all have heard me say it, is Basic Beige. It's really gorgeous, but I'm not going to do that. Now, I am going to do a trick on this one. I just think this is screaming, do something fun. And so I've got some masking tape. This is just Post-it tape. And I'm going to put this across the center. I'm going to eyeball the center. If I'm off, I'm off. And I'm going to lay that on there. And then I'm going to try to center my snowflake on my tape. Do you see that? Okay, let me find my brushes. I don't really have a purple brush per se, so I'm gonna end up going with some smaller brushes that I have that have lighter pinks on them. All right, so I'm gonna hold this in place. It's probably a mistake. I probably need to desperately tape this down, but all right. It takes a lot longer with these little brushes, but here I go. And there's, I don't really have to go across that center tape because it won't be on the paper, but I want to make sure I'm right up to it because I want that crisp masked line, if that makes sense. I need that for what I want, the effect that I want. All right. Okay, there's purple number 1. That was fresh Freesia. And I do need to clean my stencils as I go because I have at least one more project where I'm gonna stencil. So I'm gonna lift that and wipe that, wipe my surface, wipe my, sorry, I'm doing that off camera, but done. And then I'm gonna go with the second stencil, and again, I'm gonna line up the images the best I can. Oh my gosh, easy for me to say. And this color is Petunia Pop, and I'm just gonna use the same brush. It's the same color family, and I'm not gonna contaminate the darker color. You can see it's pretty bright. I'm not even sure. I may have gone in the wrong order. Gosh, I should have probably looked at my colors better. I haven't learned all my colors but quite yet. I can't remember if Berry Burst is darker or lighter than this. I will find out in a moment. All right, so to clean my brush, I just use that wet rag that has alcohol on it and swirl it around on there, and you can see it's pretty clean. It's not perfect, but it's pretty clean. I don't wash my brushes, but when I use the same color, this is Berry Burst. We will see how that works. Let me look at that color and see. I don't know. Now I got to decide which one I want to use. I think I want to use the one with the hearts. Yeah. Since I'm going one less color. Again, lining that up in the circle, making sure the arms all have the dots even on them. And let's just see what color that is. Gosh, to me that almost looks identical. They're probably almost identical. But it's gonna look pretty. I'm gonna go a little lighter on this and just see if I can get it to look more pink instead of purple. Meaning I'm using a softer hand. I'm not going quite as dark. Oh, that's pretty, y'all. That's pretty. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right, I got a little bit of cleanup to do. I'm gonna move my card for a moment. I know you're tired of watching me clean, but it helps me in the next project. Wipe my surface. Other side. Wipe my surface. There you go. and it's dry. And then if I don't want this to be a forever purple, I could clean it off too. And I just, if you use that alcohol, you see, that works pretty good. That works really well, actually. Okay, I'm gonna put these away. Sorry, staring at my ugly rag. The moment of truth, you have this beautiful image like that. And then I want to put a big Merry Christmas in the center. And you know, I'm tempted to add some gold to this so that I can use my Merry Christmas sentiments. Happy Christmas, Merry and Bright. I have a Season's Greetings. Oh, Season's Greetings is nice. Merry Christmas would look nice across there. Look at that joy. That joy is beautiful. But it's a little big for the space I left. So how about we do a Season's Greetings in our, we could do it just as a line. Oh, good idea. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm going to get out stencil number 3 again, you guys, with some gold ink. And that means I need a dauber. I usually, once I have a dauber, I kind of like keep it for that color, you know, forever. All right, I'm putting this back down. And I'm gonna get out stencil number 3 again that I skipped, right? And I'm gonna line that up. What I'm lining up is not the tape. I am lining it up on the arms of these and on these little tulip looking things. And I'm going to put some gold on here. I could have embossed it. That would have been pretty too. Like gold embossing. Ooh, I don't know if my ink is too wet to gold emboss. Like if my pink ink isn't dry, which it's probably not because I use gobs, you can't put embossing powder on there. It'll be everywhere, right? But I could dry it a little bit. All right. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at that. I know you can't see it very well, but it's really pretty. It's got a really beautiful shimmer. Oh, there, in that light. Ah, I like that. I like the idea of embossing this. Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta dry this if I'm gonna use any powder on this thing. I'm gonna be sorry if I don't. Now I have a really cool, and my powder tool. Sorry, I'm looking for my powder. I know I got it out. I have sparkle powder. I would not have to use this gold. I could totally just use my Versamark ink. You don't have to use gold to emboss in gold. But when I'm doing a stencil, I use a dauber, and I specifically have it for my Versamark, okay? Because that dauber, you never want to mix your other inks with a pigment ink. Like a pigment ink and a dye ink are made so differently, you'll mess up your ink pads. by mixing those together. And Versamark is so different from other inks that you don't want to mess up any ink pads. All right, I'm being generous with my powder. I'm being generous with my powder to the point where this has a thing where you can loosen it and release more. And I'm doing that because my ink may be still a little bit wet, which is not ideal. And then I want to use that same stencil and put it back on there. I want to do it with Versamark. So I'm lining that back up. I know, you guys are like, are you ever going to finish today? No. As a matter of fact, I have one more card and a scrapbook page I want to show you. The scrapbook page, I just want to show, it's not totally put together, but it is like close. It's close. I don't have to do a bunch of stuff to it. Don't worry. It won't be all day. I'm being generous with my Versamark because it's hard to put into a stencil. And so I'm just going around one more time, making sure that I have it all in there. And then lift this up. It needs clean, so I'm setting it aside. I don't want powder on this tape, so I'm lifting that up. And I have an old scratch paper piece here. And the moment of truth, let's see if I can make this work. All right, you know where it's stuck? It's stuck in that area where my tape had been. That's weird, huh? I don't want it to melt in there. The other thing is I'm using a glitter style embossing powder, and glitter embossing powder has loose glitter in it. Margie, you'd love it. I'm being sarcastic. She would hate this so much. But the glitter doesn't melt. It just, the powder melts. I just want to make sure there's no melting happening outside of my embossed area. Okay, I'm going to heat that up. I should clean up my powder first. I don't want to melt that. Go from the underside so you can watch it change with me. Ah, there it goes. It's so pretty. There's one side. The magic of embossing. Look at that. It's so gorgeous. You can see the powder melting. And I'm just gonna go over it a little bit on the top, make sure I didn't miss anywhere. And you don't want to just keep heating, because it will mess up. It'll make your powder turn to dust. It'll dry it out to the point where it just crunches and falls off your page. All right. Not bad. See, look, no glitter. That's amazing. But this is done, and it's glittery, and it's pretty. And so now I can put my Season's Greetings on there and use my gold pen. I have this gold pen, and it's a darker gold. It's not a bright gold. And I don't think I have another bright gold. I'm looking. This is the other gold I have, so we can see which one we like better. See, that one's dark too. It's more of a dark. This is one of those paint pens that you hold down and then it starts to flow. And there it goes. I was like, why isn't it flowing? I've never had a problem with this pen ever. It's old too, but it works fabulous. I think I might use this one. I'll use the sharp end, and I'm just going to, I'm lining it up with my glass mat. I'm lining it up with the edge of my image, and I'm just going to make a line, and I'm going to do the same thing here, and that way I'll know it's straight. Ah, pretty. Ta-da. All right. Look at that. I think I need a big Merry Christmas or a big season's greetings. This one feels small, but look how beautiful that is. And I think it would look really pretty with some gold snowflakes that I don't heat emboss, just I think it's gorgeous. And then I can cut my panel down and put a piece of like petunia pop around the border or something, or even a metallic gold, right? That'll be gorgeous. Okay, so there is my tentative next card. I have so many things that I want to show. I think I'll show my last card, and then I'll show you my scrapbook page, and then I'll be done because I've been on for an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. I planned today to be a little longer because Moose is getting his hair cut. Steve took him, so I knew they'd be gone a couple of hours, which is amazing, right? Okay. Oh, I have two in here. Okay, so here's one that I thought would be really cool. It is to make a shaker. And what I did, made all these little parts and pieces. I cut out a whole bunch of those little pieces from the die set. I stenciled using 4 colors. So I have these pieces here, and then I used Basic Beige as stencil number 1, and then I used Crumb Cake as stencil number 2, Pecan Pie as stencil number 3, that's that warmer brown that's on there. And then I was going to use a dark, like espresso for the last color, but instead I used that metallic gold and I embossed. So you can see that it's sparkly and shiny. It's really pretty. And this is just like a card base. Imagine that as a card base, right? And I'm gonna put, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by putting a piece of window sheet. My window sheet is a little bit staticky, and I'm gonna use sequins, so I'm gonna use just a little bit of powder. My house is very dry, and so I use a little powder on it, and then I use my rag And by adding a little moisture, sometimes like a little water or that alcohol that's left over on my you know, rag. Why can't I think of words? It will help with that. Ugh, I tore my panel. Good job, Connie. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put, I was gonna use liquid glue, but for that, but I want to line it up. I want it to dry pretty quickly. So that's just window sheet attached to the back of my panel, and that was cut with that second piece, not the biggest piece, the second. So that means I could make a cool border around that if I want to, but right now that'll be the front. The other thing that I thought would be really kind of cool on here is if I edged this a little bit to make it look like weathered wood. And I think I might use that basic beige, just a smidge. The pecan pie would be nice on that. I don't even know if I want it brushed on. I wish I should have made a cube. This is an easier technique with a cube, but I'm just going to very lightly brush over. Oh yeah, see, now that looks like weathered. Now the problem with basic beige, it's got a green undertone. So it has a little bit of green. I really hate these stamp pads so much. It's like I can't run them. There we go. Somebody told me a trick to making those work better is to put chapstick on the rails so that they glide easier. I'm gonna have to try it because I struggle, and I struggle. This is pecan pie. I'm going to add just a little bit of it. I like the cubes for this technique because it's easier to keep control over where the color goes. And I want it to look a little woodsy, if that makes sense. I could have done totally different, you know, totally different there. Make sure I didn't get any on my window. Okay. And then I just need some foam. And I don't need a lot of foam. I like using the Stampin' Up little tiny strips a lot. And they go far. And on this particular one, you almost need them because the sides are so narrow here and here. Decisions. Let me see if I have some just sitting here. I do. I cut mine down because they were always too long for what I needed, so I cut them in half. Like, I just need a smaller amount. The thing about a shaker is you need to make it a full window. It needs to touch so that nothing escapes. Like, you don't want that gap there, right? You don't want a gap. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just make a cross piece that. There's a little gap here, although I don't think anything's getting out of there, but we'll just put one there, and then I'll make one here. There, ta-da. Now I'm ready. What my wish list for Stampin' Up is multiple types of foam adhesive. Oh, a wide ribbon under Seasons Greeting. Ooh, that's a good idea. The only one I have this, that's the right color, and it's not wide. But I could do a gold piece of cardstock. Sorry, I looked back at my comments. Oh, this has potential. I'm going to keep this with it so that I don't forget that idea when I'm finishing that card. Now, I left this loose because I want to be able to make sure it's in the right place for my snowflake. This snowflake is definitely going to need a border. It's going to be beautiful, you guys. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty perfect. It's actually pretty even in everything. So, go glue. I left my glue sitting here. Whenever you use these little bottles of glue, when you're not using them, if you leave them on their sides, they don't clog up. And if you sit them like this, you need to make sure that little tiny thing is empty. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. You guys have good ideas. Multiple sizes, yes, of this foam. I need wide, super wide for my, and thin, like thin, narrow, like not skinny, like thickness wise. I need thin for my scrapbook pages. Otherwise, all my pages have this huge dimension. Like this is the dimension I use for shaker cards. I don't necessarily want that dimension in my scrapbook, right? You know what else I have? I still have some leftover gold, like super fine thread that I used for I used it for a long time, you guys. All right, I do not want a lot in here because I want it to show, I don't want it to stack on itself. Sequins are notorious for stacking up and making clumps. I don't like to use them if I don't have to. I'd prefer to use, I would prefer to use round bits. Okay. And now I'm just gonna line this up. I'm lining it up with the picture, not with the edges, because I can always trim the edges if they're off, but I want the picture to be in perfect alignment. See that? Okay, now, awesome. Now I need to decide what I want to put around this edge. I could use gold, I could use brown. I think a dark brown would be really pretty. A glitter, a brown glitter. Oh my goodness. Let me see what I got. Hold on. I know I have lots of colors of glitter, and I'm drowning in glitter paper, so I'm trying to use it. Hold on a minute. I'm trying not to drop everything on top of myself. There. This is glitter paper from close to my heart. And I'm gonna make another window. I can do that off camera though. Like, you guys don't have to watch me cut this. I mean, obviously, you have seen me do it now, and I'm gonna make a cool window a little frame. And then I have these really neat smaller snowflakes that I can put around it. It's gonna look fabulous, okay? It's gonna look great. I could even cut some of those out in the glitter. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. All right, I'm just gonna put these in a pile. I will finish this off camera because I think you guys, it'll be fun to show you the finished cards later. Let me see what else is in my pile here. Oh yeah, so I decided, well, what if we don't stencil at all and we just want to layer things on a panel? And I cut all these purples out because I was kind of curious, you know, what that would look like. And I have panels. I could use a white panel. I could use a green panel. I could use, you know, glitter. And I think I'm just going to make a panel. Now this would have white around it for a card base, but my idea is to use different colors and glue them on. All right. I'm pretty fast at gluing, so hopefully you won't get too bored watching this. All right, there's one. I'm just gonna put my block on there. Try to decide which one I want next. I think I want a darker one there and a lighter one here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So has anybody come up with any great ideas for New Year's Eve yet? Would you like to see layouts using 6x6 papers? Would you like to see cards? I think the other Stampin' Up person is doing the cake stamps and dies, and her stuff is really cute. And I don't know what Shirley's doing. Do you, Margie? Aren't these pretty? These are so pretty. So I've glued down parts and pieces, and then I'm just gonna take my shears to the back of them and start a trimming like this. Messy, but and do you see how I'm making this panel? And then you can put in other parts that you've cut off to fill in the space like that. Oh, that's so beautiful. All right, now I gotta remember where I need to glue. You know, purple is growing on me. I gotta say, it's growing on me. And I've never been like a purple lover, but slowly I'm getting there. All right, I obviously got that a little off. Let's see. There. I need glue under here. Okay. Cut again. Oh, look at this panel. It's so pretty, you guys. And then I really love the idea of having a message there and maybe adding a few of these. Like that. That's a good gorgeous. That's gorgeous. I love how that looks. It just needs bling. So I'm going to be blinging this, and then I'll put a panel behind it. Like, I mean, can you envision, like, I don't know. I need like a panel of one of these purples, I think. It'll look really good. Or I could even look in my glitter stash. That is the wrong color, but you get what I mean. All right, so there is the next one. And I'm gonna save this for the inside because I like that idea. All right, so there's another one. What else do I have in my stash here? I have lots of little snowflake pieces. Oh, I was thinking this, I could use just a real, okay, hang with me for a second. I've cut out a whole bunch of snowflakes out of the dies. I just now added this to it, right? And look at this. Ah, so pretty. Look at that. I had some iridescent paper in my stash, and I thought that's really pretty. After I cut out some of the white ones, like after I cut out a white inside, I went ahead and grabbed this die and cut out around it, and that's what I got. Wow. And so I did the same thing with this one. I cut the center out of it because I wanted to use the center for something. And then I ended up with this almost like a frame shape just by cutting out parts of the die. So like this, I just heard noise. I think it was Steve. I think Steve's back. Okay, so I cut out this die. I was like, weird, somebody's coming in my house. Oh, marbled. Ooh. And then I cut this around it, and that's how I got this one. And then I had this red left over from when I cut out that other shape, and I was like, look at this. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. And then you could add the iridescent onto it. That's gorgeous. And then, you know, I'm trying to use up all my baker's twine. Look at that. That's a stunner. It's so cute. It makes it a little more less classy and more homespun looking. It is so my style right there. I love it so much. Okay. And I have a lot of these cut in different ways because, you know, you can add layers forever. Get out your vellum. Okay, so oh my God, I'm running out of space. So I grabbed this one. I just want to show you this. I won't do all the blinging, but okay. I cut the bottom layer die out of my, this is the greenish that is in the Peaceful Garden glitter paper, glitter cardstock. That's what it is. It's so gorgeous. And you get a super bright blue, and you also get a secret sea color with it. So you can imagine if I had done this in this color, how beautiful that would be, right? It's just, ugh, it's gorgeous, Gorgeous. Okay, then I did the smaller frame in white. Okay, I'm going to use pop dots on every level. Between here and here, I'm going to use pop dots, and I'm going to add a hanger because I want to make an ornament. I cut out like 4 layers of white in this snowflake. And then I cut 1 layer of the glitter, and I glued them all together so that they make a stiffer, sturdier, layered piece. I did not want to put any kind of foam adhesive on here, and then this alone will pop that up because it's like 4 layers of cardstock, right? And then I cut this one several layers of white, and if you use the thick cardstock and then just do it like this, I love that. You had me at Secret C. And then you put this down. Do you see where I'm going here? I'm making the most beautiful Christmas ornament ever. Look how gorgeous that is. And then I have Swarovski crystals. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna bling this thing up like it's New Year's Eve. Bling, bling, bling. I have 3 different sizes of these crystals, plus this is like a size 8. Center, it is going to sparkle like nobody's business. And that is my next project. So that is something I will do later today. I even cut an extra one of these thinking I might put it in the center. I'm not sure it adds anything. I can't decide, but I feel the more the merrier. Okay, look at that. All I know for the New Year's Eve thing, Margie, is that I am not going to force people to buy stuff. I just feel like right after Christmas, we've all been shopping like crazy. So there is my ornament project. I think I'm going to make a few using the Secret C. This is going to be fun. Maybe I'll do a reel and show the finished ones in all the different colors of glitter. It takes some die cutting. It takes some time to make those because, you know, I only have 1 set of dies. You know, if these dies go low enough right here, I might buy just a second set of just the dies because it is really handy to be able to cut multiples of these for what I'm using them for. I would like to cut more than 1. Just like that More Than Autumn set where I'm like, okay, I need to cut a lot of donuts. I needed an extra set of dies. It's worth the money for me. All right, last thing, and then I'll go, especially because my dog is probably going crazy looking for me. Scrapbook page. So let me zoom out. Wrong way. If you saw my table, I should just zoom out to my table. You guys would die. Oh, you know what I didn't show? Holy crap. Okay. I have stenciling paste. I was going to show you how I use that. I could totally do that on some of the other snowflakes. Oh, can't believe I didn't do that. Oh my gosh, it's even in my list. I have like a list. Oh, don't forget this, don't forget that. All right, so what I did was I thought a black background would look really good. And then on the right-hand side, I cut a strip, a whole 12-inch strip of cloud cover using that little tiny die. So yes, I ran it through 100 times. It probably felt like 100 times. It wasn't really. This is a 12-inch piece out of the Modern Christmas. And I really like this style, okay? And I have a little bit of space on here where I could put a little bit of snow that I stamp up here. And I think I would stamp it in black and basic beige. I'm not sure yet. Maybe cloud cover. I'm not sure of the color, but I know it needs a little black there because there's not actually very much black that shows, but I need a little. And then on this page, I started by stenciling in basic beige and cloud cover just the last 2 stencils. So just the detail ones. You can see that right there. And then you can see the snowflake that I stamped from Festive Friends that has the bolder look. And then this is the bunch from the Snowy Delights, and that is in cloud cover, and that is in Misty Moonlight. I had to really think about that a second. Okay. And then I did texture paste, the glitter paste. If you can see it, you can't see it sparkle very well on screen. I don't know why that is, but boy, in real life, there's some glitter on there. It looks really cool. And then I did a little bit in this corner and one of the stencils in this corner. My plan was to show you that on here, but my gosh, I've been on here 2 hours. I need to cool it. And then I was going to put some black over here because it will balance. And I mean, this is going to be a snow page. Anybody else get snow? So depending on my pictures, most of my pictures with snow are horizontal. So I can put them horizontal here, or, you know, in whatever arrangement works for my pages. And then I'll embellish with the different parts and pieces of snow. I really wanted to use Secret Sea and do that, but you know what? No. This glitter is really great. I think a little sparkle. The more that I use the glitter paper that comes with that peaceful garden, the more I appreciate this glitter. It doesn't rub off. It's just like the old Close to My Heart. It die cuts like a dream. It doesn't have that weird vinyl coating that some glitters have. And it just looks really nice. Now, the other color of glitter paper that comes in this is bright. It's bright. It's, let me think. It's like bright. I think it's that color. It doesn't just go with the other 2 colors. It's just another very bold blue. But it's pretty. Like, it would make really gorgeous snowflake ornaments. So I may use it. Anyway, there you go. Yes, the shimmer tape is just so incredible. Ooh, that's another one I could add. Shimmer tape is like a wowzer, right? All right, you guys. I think I've shown a lot of ideas, and I hope that you look in the Last Chance, because it really is on sale. And I don't know how long Last Chance stuff will last. Some of it, it's like, I have no idea how much they actually have in their stock. You know, some of it seems like it sticks around forever and you don't have to be in a hurry, and other stuff sells out overnight. It's like, what happened? And I think sometimes it's people who show some really cool project or something, and then everybody buys it. That's what I think happens. Anyway, okay, I'm still debating on this matte, this color. I keep going back and forth. It's like I could use just a little tiny strip of basic beige along here. along with, and then use a glitter mat, right? I'll think about it. So, all right. Yeah. Bigger discounts, they have more of them. That's a good thought. That's probably true. Yeah. And the stencils are under $10, and you saw all the fun that I've had with them today. Just that alone, today alone, if that's all I make with them ever, that was worth $10 to me. It's beautiful. And then the dies. I mean, look how pretty. It's just, you know, you can do what you want. Different colors. Get out your vellum. I love the iridescent. Oh, that's the other thing. I think I'm going to add the iridescent to this page, because my iridescent cardstock, I don't know who got that when I was giving away my stash, but that iridescent cardstock is cool on here. And I really do like the variety. And see, could add iridescent and silver together. It's just really pretty, you guys. You can do almost these alone make such a beautiful page. Look at that. I could do like 3x3 photos here and have a snowflake by each one. Okay, I gotta go. I got things to do today. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Let me know what you think.